Welcome back, gamers. Today for our Day 0 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle build, we have Superfly, Malicious Mutant. This dude's really cool. I'm really excited for this one. He's a 6-hand size, 31 health character with the mutant trait, air and evil as his symbols. As an enhance, this attack gets plus X speed or minus X speed or plus X damage. X equals the number of foundations committed to pass the check to play this attack. So it's either good speed hate or a lot of damage boosted up on your attacks, or speed hate on your rivals' attacks. It's a really fascinating kind of way to play the character. And it's such a cool ability because I love Breaker. It's one of my favorite keyword abilities. Check hacking as defense is one of my favorite play styles, and this character plays into that so well. We also have a response. After we take damage, we get to add a scheme from our discard pile to our card pool. That card cannot be cleared from the card pool this turn. So we take damage, we put one of these scheme actions in our card pool. That card doesn't clear at the end phase, but luckily for us, schemes don't count towards progressive difficulty. So that's pretty cool. And so what does Superfly want to do? He wants to force your rival to commit more foundations in order to give more speed hate so he can block more stuff, but he wants to take a few hits so he can get his schemes into his card pool, because schemes in the card pool give you a lot of extra bonuses. So let's start with Dive Bomb Tackle. This is a 5/3, 5/5 for 5 with a 1 high block. As a blitz, it gets +1 speed for each card committed to pass the check to play it. So it kind of gives speed where Superfly gives damage. So if you use this as a string ender and you have to commit like 4 foundations to play it, this becomes a 9 high 9 on its own. That's pretty good for, like, say, your 4th attack in a string. We have Superfly's Swift Dive, a 5/2, 6 high for 5 with a 1 high block. Powerful 3, Charge and Slam. Powerful 3 is a keyword ability that is an enhance that says spend any number of momentum. For each momentum spent on this ability, get +3 damage. And as a blitz, we get to add any rival foundation to its owner's hand. We just get to say, hey, that really good defensive piece, put it back in your hand. Especially if it's a low block, because I'm a high attack. It's just a really solid kill card. We have Bring Me Stockman's Mutant. This is a 4/3, 4 low for 4 with a 1 low block, Ally, and Fury. As a blitz, if we have a scheme in our card pool, this attack gets +2 speed, which is helpful because Superfly already gives damage built in, so we kind of need a way to boost our speed. We have Quarterbacking from HQ, a 5/3, 5 high for 5 with a 3 high block, powerful 3 again, ally and ranged. As a blitz, if there is a scheme in our card pool, we get to draw a card. We're almost always going to have a scheme in our card pool as long as we can take a hit with 1 in our discard pile. And one of my favorite cards to play around with lately, Flurry of Punches. This is a 4/3, 4 mid for 4 with a 2 high block, Charge, EX2, and Punch. EX is basically the speed equivalent of Powerful. So for EX2, we can spend any number of momentum, and for each momentum we spend, we get +2 speed. As a static, if we have 10 or less health, this attack gets +2 damage. So it becomes a 4 mid 6. If we're at 10 or less health, and since we're constantly wanting to take hits to stuff our card pool with our schemes, that's kind of easy to do. And as an enhance, our next attack gets +2 difficulty, +3 speed, and +3 damage. Now, why would we want to increase the difficulty of our attacks? So we can commit more foundations to get more damage. So we're getting 3 speed and 3 damage already, and then we're giving 2 difficulty to maybe get more damage thanks to Superfly's ability. It is a really good 1-2 punch, as it were, if you're using this to set up your finisher, like a Dive Bomb Tackle or a Superfly Swift Dive. It's just really, really powerful. Onto our non-attack cards, we have an asset. We have Twisty Surroundings, a 3/5, 2 mid block, Breaker 2, and Terrain. Terrain being a static that says only 1 terrain can exist in play at any given time. So if you have a terrain and your rival builds a terrain, your terrain goes away. Excuse me. And then Breaker 2 is a response that says after you successfully block with this card, your rival's next check gets -2. As an enhance, we can spend 1 momentum, change the zone of this attack to any other zone, playable while committed, playable by either player, so both players can do a bit of a zone mix-up by spending 1 momentum. And then response commit, after your rival makes a check to play an attack, that check gets -2, failing the check will not end the combat phase. So this is a good way to start getting your rival to commit foundations, which gives Superfly more speed hate on your rival's turn. Now on to the most important part of this character, the actions. We have Trash the City, a 4/6 with no block. It's a scheme. As such, it does not count towards progressive difficulty, and it has a first form. The first form for Trash the City is Seal 1 Rival Foundation. So a first form is the first card you play or the first ability you activate after drawing your hand for your turn. And to seal a card is to basically cause it to lose all of its abilities for the rest of the turn. So you're basically turning off your rival's best foundation. And then as a response in our card pool, after we play an attack, your rival commits 1 foundation. So the cool thing about these schemes is if we have, say we took a hit with Superfly and we put in a Trash the City, then our turn comes around and we play a Trash the City for our first form. Now every time we play an attack, our rival has to commit 2 foundations. If they're having to commit foundations because of our check hacking on their turn, it's going to very quickly get to the point where they can't block anything. They can't defend at all, and we're just free to rain terror. Especially with our scheme, Wipe Out All Humans. This scheme is a 5 difficulty 6 control, no block. It's a scheme, it doesn't count towards progressive, as its first form, so we would only be able to play from our hand 1 scheme per turn. But as this first form, our rival's next check gets -2. So their check to block is likely going to get hacked by 2 while we're trying to commit cards in their stage. It's really powerful. And as a card pool enhance, our attack gets +2 damage. So let's say we have, we take 2 hits, we put in 2 Wipe Out All Humans, and then we first form a Trash the City. That's 4 damage and forcing our rival to commit a foundation every attack that we play. Super powerful, super dangerous. And then, of course, can't have an evil character without Barrier Shield these days. This is a 2/5, 2 high block ally action. As a static, it also doesn't count towards progressive difficulty. Woo. As an enhance, we remove it, reduce this attack speed to 0. The next card you play this turn gets Breaker 2. So that's pretty cool because it makes something very easy to block, and we get that Breaker, which is more check hack, which means more committed foundations, which means more speed hate. And then enhance, your rival cannot add cards to their hand during this attack due to their non-character effects. So if we've got a character that's got a lot of draw on board, we can just play Barrier Shield and say, you don't get to draw. At least due to your non-character effect. Onto our foundations, we have Catching Air. This is a 1/5 with a 2 high block. Enhance flip changes attack zone to high. We do have a lot of high blocks in this deck, so being able to just flip this foundation and say, hey, I'm going to change this zone to the zone that I have the most blocks for in the deck, pretty good defense. We have Wingnut's Warning, a 1/5 with a 3 mid block. It's got Tech and Breaker 1, so it's a Breaker block itself, and as a response we can flip it after we play a block. That block gains Breaker 1. We love Breaker in Superfly. We have Replicate His Research, a 2/5 with a 2 mid block. Enhance, Sacrifice, add 1 scheme from our discard pile to our hand. So we play this during our rival's turn. We can pick up any scheme in our discard pile, so we get access to those first form abilities. We have Villainous Plot. I don't like that this character is basically all neck. It's a 1/4, with a 2 mid block. Response flip at the end of our combat phase. We get to add any scheme from our card pool to our hand. So this is cool because we can just pick up those schemes, gain access to those first form abilities again. So we can just play it, play through, pick it up at the end of the turn, and next turn, go right into it. We have Dedicate Your Heart, a 3/5 with a 3 low block. Enhance once per turn, sacrifice 1 foundation, ready 1 foundation that has not been readied this combat phase. So we want to commit foundations to pass the checks to play our attacks because, well, that's how we get more damage with Superfly. But we also kind of want to pass more than 1 attack in a turn. So being able to refresh or re-ready our attacks is a must. We also have this cool Deadlock Enhance, clear up to 2 cards from our card pool. May not come in handy, but you never know. We have Moment of Normalcy, a 2/5 with a 3 high block, unique keyword, enhance commit, return this attack to its printed speed or damage. Because we have speed hate on our face, we might not use it for speed, but we could reset to printed damage just to take a printed like 3 damage attack and add a scheme into our from our discard pile into our card pool. For a bit of extra defense, we do have Mikasa Defeats the Female Titan, a 2/4 with a 3 low block, response flip. After you block an attack, that attack deals no damage, which seems counterintuitive to what we want to do as Superfly, but we don't want to die, so in case of emergency, break glass. We have Rifle Arm, a 2/5 with a 3 low block and the weapon keyword. Enhanced commit, this attack is +2 or -2 speed. If it is the only attack in its owner's card pool, it gets +3 or -3 speed instead. So this is something really good to put on our first attack, +3 speed, after we've given it a bunch of damage because of Wipe Out All Humans and Superfly. So say we play, one of our 5 difficulties, and we check a 2, because we have Superfly's Super Dive. We can commit 3 to get 3 damage on, thanks to Superfly. We can get 3 speed with Rifle Arm. And let's say we have, 2 of each of our schemes, because we took a bunch of hits. Our rival has to commit 2 foundations for each, 1 for each Trash the City, and we can get 4 extra damage thanks to 2 Wipe Out All Humans. It is really good, and that's just on our first attack. So this is probably one of the few times that Rifle Arm is in here more for the bonus speed as opposed to the speed hate. Speaking of speed hate, we do have Incubating, a 1/5 with a 3 low block. Enhance, remove 1 card from your discard pile. This attack gets -1 speed. Sometimes we just need more speed hate. Sometimes our rival just checks 5s on their 5 diffs. We have Fighting for Control, a 2/4 with a 3 high block. Response, rival's turn, flip. After your rival makes a check to play a non-foundation card, that check gets -2. Failing that check will not end the combat phase. So we don't have to worry about... I lost my train of thought. Basically, you're going to use this mainly for attacks, because then you can give more speed hate thanks to Superfly. More speed hate, we have Defending Pageant Queen, a 2/5 with a 3 high block. Enhance, remove, reduce this attack speed to 1. Sometimes we just want to pass as many blocks as possible on partials so that we can take a bit of damage, put in our schemes, and go to work. We have Energy Suction, a 1/5 with a 2 low block. As a static, it does not count towards progressive difficulty to play attack cards. And as a response in our card pool, after our attack deals damage, we gain a health. So that could just be our way to try to play even more defense, just gaining more health in order to kind of offset having to take damage. And lastly, Charismatic Approach. This is a 2/4 with a 3 mid block. Enhance, rival's turn, flip. Each player searches their deck for 1 card and adds it to their hand. So obviously your rival is going to be able to get their best piece, whatever they think they need to end the game. This could be in cases of emergency, break glass to grab a barrier shield from your deck. Or maybe a Twisty Surroundings, one of your breaker blocks to block with. It's dangerous, but with enough check hacking, it could be worth it. And that is the basics for the Malicious Mutant Superfly. This guy is in my top 3 characters I'm most excited for. This dude's great. I love him. I love check hacking characters, and while he doesn't check hack himself, he does basically pay you off for hacking your rival's checks and making their life so much more difficult because you can just keep stacking on those bonuses that you get. They have to commit more resources. Then they lose more speed, which makes you block, which you partial. You can take a bit of damage, put in one of your schemes, and then on their turn, you just ram all that damage straight through. I'm super excited to play Superfly. And that's all I've got to say for Superfly. So I've only got 2 more day zeros after this. So we're in the end game now, folks. I will see you next time. Take care.